And we on the line we have our sports person, Mr. AARP himself.
Sports person, really? I think he couldn't figure out what to say.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He couldn't be Mark Holmes, Joe.
I'm trying.
Cowboy Joe Boo.
I'm running the board, so I was like,
Sportsman extraordinaire.
when he called in, it threw me off.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see what time it is. It's time for our sports segment right here with my main man, Cowboy Joe Boo, Mark Holmes on another Cowboy Victory Monday.
Man, how about them Cowboys, man?
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, man. Now, they made us sweat here now. But
They
of course,
did.
you know, Joe Boo, he earns a refill here.
Shout out to refills.
Oh,
Shout
man.
out to Whiskey.
Yeah, man, he got the good stuff, man. After that game, I mean, they had us sweating out. But, you know, that's the first time we have beat the Eagles at home since 2012. And that's a great feeling to be 2 games up in our division, arguably the best team in the NFC, and the future looking bright.
So, what you got for us, dog? Now, I was impressed at the fact that this was Dak Prescott's worst game by 4, but still they found a way to win as a team. You got some questions about. You got some questions about. Did they target Dez Bryant too much? You got some more questions about this domestic violence thing. You got some more questions about should Dak have run more, and of course, what's going on in the DFW? Dak versus Romo. Who should start?
Well, let's start with the whole Dez thing. Dez is rusty. Dez has not had a whole lot of time and worked and stuff with Dak, because even when Dak was playing in the preseason, Dez wasn't doing a whole lot because they were, you know, worried about his ankle and everything. So they haven't had a lot of time together. That relationship is going to build as they play more and more together. But you see, you know, where people were talking about, oh, maybe the Cowboys should trade Dez Bryant. You see what a weapon he is and how he will open up the field. Now, the great thing is that the Eagles basically did run blitzes, and they said basically, make a long story short, you have 2 types of defense. You have a read and react, where your defense is trying to figure out where the offense is going and they follow it, or you have a spot defense where it is you're covering a gap. Well, they were basically shooting the gaps so that way they could cut out the running lanes, and they were trying to make Dak Prescott beat them. So the great thing is he did look bad at the first half, but he was able to get it together, drive them down for a winning score, tying score, and then the winning score. So that is a lot of character, because nothing seems to phase this guy.
So what do you think about them? So you thinking it's more that Dez was rusty is a part to maybe it was
and they haven't worked together a lot. So, you know, like I said, that's, you know, Cole Beasley and Dak have worked together a lot. And you notice how, as the season has gone on, Dak has progressed more and more with those relationships with those receivers. I mean, if you know, basically they're basically 2 new players to each other as far as their production on the field. They only played together 2 games. And that first game against the Giants, he didn't really get targeted and do that well. Second game with Dak, he did pretty good. This game, he still had a lot of big catches, but they weren't. You could see in a couple of those plays, they weren't exactly on the same page. But that'll work together as they get more time together. Now, as far as the Tony Romo versus Dak, I think, unfortunately for Tony Romo, if he comes back, it's a no-win situation for him, because the moment he throws a pick or they lose a game, it's going to be get the bum out of here. Because right now everybody loves Tony Romo, you know, and people are pretty much thinking, oh, Tony Romo could do so much better. And that's the thing I don't really understand, is there seems to be kind of a double standard. Because I'm trying to understand how last week when Carson Wentz played against the Minnesota Vikings, he had 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and was like 16 of 28. Yet everybody was praising him, saying he did enough to win. Well, didn't Dak do that this week? Yet we've got Cowboy fans that are basically acting like he's the worst quarterback in the NFL, and they can't wait for Tony Romo to get back in.
Well, maybe,
and I just don't see that.
Maybe on up there where you are. Down here, it is all about the Dak night rising, Dak attack. They were even trying to talk about trading Tony Romo to Pittsburgh for a couple of bigs.
Well, you can't trade him this year because of his salary.
Oh, absolutely.
And quite frankly, nobody's going to trade for that contract, because you just don't want. It's just like RG3s. You know, they kept trying to say, oh, they're going to trade RG3, but nobody's going to trade for that $15 million that RG3, knowing that there's a chance that he may not be able to play. So he probably would end up getting cut at the end of the season if they can't work out something, and say basically
Hold on just
$6
a
million.
second.
But the good thing
Mark.
about that is once you get him off the salary, Dak is only making $600,000 a year. That's $20 million that you can spend on the defense or elsewhere on the team, and that's the reason why a team like Seattle, because Russell Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round, didn't have to pay him jack for 4 years. They could put money into keeping that defense together. And as far as Elliott, one thing it drove me crazy because I knew that this was going to happen today, but I couldn't say anything about it. But United Way and Character Education with all of our rookie draft picks. We had Ezekiel Elliott, we had Dak Prescott and stuff there working with the kids. And this goes to the character of the guy. When Dak Prescott has been offered late night interviews, commercial opportunities, he's turned all that stuff down. When it was the bye week, he went home to his family, went fishing. He stayed out of the limelight. But he's finding time to give back to the kids, and that tells me that he is truly focused on football, his job, and giving back into the community, and he really gets it. Now, as far as Elliott goes, that's the NFL basically trying to cover their behind right now because they screwed up so bad with the whole Josh Brown thing. When you look at that double standard of Ray Rice has been blackballed, even though he's gone on and said, hey, look, I'm sorry, and apologize and everything else. You had Josh Brown, who the Giants knew had, some real issues there, but he still got a job. So now the NFL is basically trying to go through everything and say, we're investigating. But as of yet, the prosecutors, the police department, they said there's not enough evidence of anything of Ezekiel actually doing anything. So I think that's just a whole hunk of BS.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Oh, okay. Because he can't hear. I said, no, Mark is just on the road. I was going to get you to address the flying burrito who's in the studio molesting our intern in the back.
Burrito. Man, we got burritos?
He's back there. He's back there molesting Agatha. If you look over this shoulder right here,
Keep walking that way.
Sit over there. Well, I think this is good. Do you see any negatives or anything that concerns you? I don't know if it was because of the bye week. I don't know if it was because, everybody, I don't think they were feeling themselves. And then we also need an injury update with Church.
Morris Claiborne.
And Morris Claiborne, yes.
Church has got a broken arm. He'll probably be out 3 to 5 weeks. Morris Claiborne, that's a little bit worse because it looks like a torn groin / hernia, and he's out indefinitely. That's going to hurt a bit because, believe it or not, he is the #1 rated quarterback in the NFL. The good thing is this may go down as one of the best drafts in the Dallas Cowboys history because Antonio Brown has been playing lights out. In fact, he was playing so well, it was hard for Skander to get back on the field. So we've got guys that are stepping in and are able to play well, and I think we'll still be okay. And remember, you laughed at me when I told you that this defense was going to be a top 10 defense.
I thought you were crazy.
Right now, no, I told you, man. I told you these guys are going to come together and play well. Right now in yards, they're 11th in yards given up and 7th in points, and they're working their way on up. And with the Doo-Doo Browns up this week, you can guarantee you they will take a couple more steps forward.
Hey, we got to take these cats seriously. They are an NFL team. This could be a very big trap game.
But this is the great thing about the Cowboys right now. When you look back in past years, it was kind of like we'd have a lead going to the fourth quarter, and in your mind, you're sitting there thinking about how are they going to lose it this week. But the feeling that I had, even though we were down 10 points, was we still have a chance in this game. We still have this. This team is evolving and finding ways to win. When you think that we were down 14-0 against San Francisco, came back and win, we ended up getting a turnover against the Washington Redskins, drive down the field, win in the fourth quarter. You look at this game, we're behind, playing terrible. They're finding ways to win, and that's going to carry these guys a long, long ways. And I haven't been this excited about the Dallas Cowboys in forever.
So how do you think they're going to do up in Cleveland?
Oh, they should be wiping the floor with them. This team, this team is focused on playing football. They have come together like a team, and a lot of people. I think the division that you're hearing is coming from the talking heads more from the guys on the team. Because when Tony Romo had his party together, I honestly think that this is the happiest Tony Romo has been on the field. When you see him with the headset on, he's working with Dak. There's no animosity between those guys.
Right.
These guys are all excited about winning. And for Tony Romo, right now, it's a love fest for him. Everybody thinks he's the greatest quarterback ever and that he's getting robbed. He can kick back, collect that $20 million, and be the great guy. And he can basically kind of say, let's not change up and be the martyr for the team. If they lose, hey, it's not on me. It's a young guy.
Right.
So he's in the perfect situation right now, not playing.
Well, a lot of people are saying, I saw a lot of people saying on Facebook last night after I posted what I said, that we always are excited come September and October, but we still have to deal with November and December.
Oh, of course. I mean, and that's true with any team. And you're going to have highs and lows. This team will hit the wall someplace and go through a bad stretch. But the fact that we're beating good teams, and the funniest thing to me is how teams are talked up before we play them, but immediately after we play them and destroy them, the narrative is the team stinks.
Mm-hmm.
They said that with Cincinnati. When we went to Cincinnati, oh, that's a great defense. The Cowboys are going to get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Dak's going to get exposed. We beat them. Oh, Cincinnati, there's a problem. We go in Green Bay. We beat Green Bay down. And the narrative is, what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers? And so now we beat the Eagles. And now everybody's saying, well, they don't have the players around Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it ever that the Dallas Cowboys just played a hell of a game and they kicked their ass?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's always the other team is just no good.
It's always
and I hope
the
that's
Cowboys
all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's always the Cowboys won because the other team didn't do good.
That's right, because
they're
it's the
never
other
gonna get their
team,
props.
never the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of Cowboy haters out there to go around now. Don't
Well,
think
I gotta tell you
more
though,
Cowboy haters
on my
than Cowboy
YouTube
fans.
channel, which is growing like crazy, that I get a lot of these people that are just so hell bent that Dak Prescott is just holding the clipboard for Tony Romo and keeping the seat warm, and they're saying, well, we would have won by 40 points against the Eagles. And it's like, you realize that the last time Tony Romo played against the Eagles, we lost 33-10, and he threw 3 interceptions, right? So I don't know where all of a sudden that he's St. Tony that can beat everybody in the world.
Right.
We had all those 8-8 seasons where all we had to do was win that game. And we threw 3 interceptions against the Redskins, and looked like crap. So I'm like, how is it now all of a sudden you think that he's going to lead us to the Super Bowl when past history tells you that there's always been a problem once we got to the playoffs?
Look here, Mark. I still think that Tony Romo is a great quarterback. He has done a lot for this organization.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
I think he is the Danny White of this millennium.
Danny White?
Yeah.
Right.
Danny White was a
Danny
great
White
quarterback.
won the 3 NFC Championship games in a row, but just couldn't get to the big one.
I think you should say Tony Romo was a great quarterback, but I think his time has passed. Tony get one hit the wrong way, and he's one hit away from being pushed around in a wheelchair.
And you know what I believe? I believe that in the back of Tony's mind, he knows that, look, man, I'm not 100%.
He's not.
And the longer I sit out, that if something happens to where they need me down the stretch, I should be healthy.
I'm ready to go in and be the hero. And that's what I was saying, that if he goes in, if Jerry Jones just puts him in and says you're the starter, then it's a no-win situation for him.
Mm-hmm.
But if Dak fails and gets hurt and then he comes in and wins, then he is the hero and, rides off to the sunset. So he's playing it the right way now. Because you don't hear him out there saying that I can't wait to get back. You hear absolutely nothing from Tony, and everything you see on him, the sidelines, is he's smiling, he's happy as can be.
He on the sidelines.
Tony is in there like, man, I still feel this pain in my shoulder.
He's the
back.
one probably telling the doctor, don't release me.
Hey, Mark, tell folks how to get in contact with you, homie.
Well, thank God, every Monday night here on the Benet Embry Show. Definitely check out my YouTube channel, Mark Holmes, and also my Facebook page, Cowboy Joe Boo. And, we're always just talking about the Dallas Cowboys, about how stupid some of those guys are on ESPN and NFL Network and things, and discussing, of course, the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Shout out to your homeboy, Steve. What's his name? The biggest Cowboy fan that you always go at it with on Twitter. Steve, what's his name on ESPN? What's his name, Mark?
Oh, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
He's slowly evolving. See, I always said that he's a closet Cowboy fan because from time to time that little Dallas Cowboy fan of him comes out. And right now that the Dallas Cowboys are winning, he's kind of taking their side and giving them a whole lot of credit. So, Stephen A. Smith, classic Cowboy fan. You heard it from me.
Nothing about the World Series?
Oh, man.
Baseball sucks.
Joe Boo's rooting for the Cleveland Browns.
World Series, Game 5 is on Tuesday.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, shout out to the Cubs.
There you go.
Yeah. whatever.
Y'all got to do better, man.
Hey, Mark, we appreciate that,
Can we
homie.
just enjoy the Dallas Cowboys?
That's what it's all about. It is about the
Leading
Dallas
When was the
Cowboys.
last time we could talk like this about the Dallas Cowboys after last year?
NFC East leader, the second best record in the entire NFL behind the New England
Longest
Patriots.
winning streak in the NFL.
Longest winning streak in the NFL by a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back.
That's right.
A rookie running back.
Hey,
Yeah.
look here.
Oh, rookie running back.
That's no story. All right, Mark, we'll check in with you next week, bro.
Walker has
All right,
to talk
man. Can't wait to see you.
All right,
Bye, Mark.
Bye.